What is up, guys? I saw this movie a while back called Simon Killer. You may have heard of it, you may have not. Either way, I am going to review it for you. This film was directed by a man named Antonio Campos, and according to the poster, it's from the filmmakers of Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene. I always have a hard time pronouncing that title. But yeah, the dudes who made that movie made this one, and from what I remember from that film, it was very slow, and it was very, it was telling a story, but in a very slow way, and this movie is exactly like that as well. I saw this film on Netflix, and I wouldn't necessarily call it a horror. It's, in fact, well, on IMDb, all it says is it's a drama. There's some stuff about this movie that makes it a little bit more than just a drama, but I would say the best way to describe this film is a drama. Do not let the title fool you. This movie is not about a guy named Simon who goes out and kills people. No, this movie is not about that at all. Because that was certainly what I was expecting, judging by the title, and yeah, that's definitely not what it's about at all. Don't let this movie trick you. It is very slow, very slow. So this movie follows a man named Simon, and Simon is a recent college graduate, and he's moving to Paris, where he just recently got over like a really bad breakup apparently, and he befriends a prostitute in Paris, and you know, she suddenly starts to learn about, more about Simon and who he is. But that's pretty much the main question you're asking yourself while watching this movie is, who is Simon? Even though he's the main character and you're following him, like, throughout most of the movie, you'd still have no idea who this guy is. The only thing you know about this guy is that he's a college graduate and he just got done, with a big breakup and he's moving to Paris. That's all you know about him. Like, you don't know what his favorite color is, what his favorite food is, what kind of music he listens to, what color his underwear is. You don't know anything about this guy. And at times throughout the film, you begin to question yourself if this guy's crazy, if he's just a normal human being. Like, you don't know. But yeah, that is pretty much the big question to this movie, is who is Simon, and why are you following him, and what is so interesting about him? Because from what I tell from this movie, he literally does nothing at all, and it's kind of boring. Literally, the whole movie is you're following Simon, like, on his daily life, what he does, it's kind of boring. Because Simon's not a very interesting guy. He's just like, he seems like a normal guy, and you're just watching him, like, doing stuff like doing the laundry or, just walking in the street. You're just watching him, go on with his merry life. And that's pretty much the entire movie, like the first 45 minutes. But then stuff starts to get a little more interesting once he meets the prostitute, and they become kind of good friends and eventually develop into a relationship, but that doesn't really come until halfway through the movie. So yes, if you guys are familiar with these people's work, their stuff is very slow. This is a very slow film. Did I already mention that already? Because this movie is slow. But just because a movie is slow and boring doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad movie. It did definitely have its flaws, and they definitely need to work a little bit on the character development, like who is Simon and why do I care about him so much and why am I following him throughout the whole movie, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It was definitely not the most entertaining movie in the world, but then again, I wasn't really expecting the most entertaining movie in the world. I still found the movie very interesting. I was still, curious to see what happens and if anything even does happen. But yeah, towards the end it gets a little confusing, but I mean, it's still a pretty good payoff, I'd say. Again, guys, don't expect a horror film. This is not a horror film. Don't let the title trick you, but as a movie in general, it's pretty good, and I enjoyed it for what it was. Simon Killer is not a perfect movie by any means. It definitely had its slow parts, but then again, it had its interesting parts. So, overall, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 3 out of 5. I would recommend this to you guys if you, can get past the slow parts and if you don't mind watching slow movies. Because this film is the definition of a slow movie, trust me. But it's still interesting nonetheless, and I enjoyed it, so hopefully you will enjoy it as well. And that is about it for this review, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jacob Palacio. Do not forget to leave a comment down below on what movie I should review next. I hurt my hand, and I will see you guys later.